Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to my first AP for PowerPoint for quarter one AP. So for AP this year, here they'll be talking about not the Philippines, but all about Asian geography, and later on in the other quarters, Asian civilizations. First, let's start off with. Sorry, I keep pressing the wrong button. Asian geography. Let's begin. First, what exactly is Asia, where I'm from? Asia is the largest continent in the world by at least landmass and population. Asian, if you were to put it on a map, you'd see, whoa, quite a lot of countries as well, and population that comes with them. Asia not only is the largest continent in the world, but it covers at least 30% of Earth's landmass, or approximately, it covers at least 44,579 square kilometers. Now, while Europe does share, here's another country that's also near Asia called Europe, that it shares the land with Asia, giving it the nickname Eurasia. This is because both Asia and Europe share the same tectonic plates. So sometimes some people might include Europe as part of Asia, but for the sake of this context, it'll just be its own separate continent. And it was also home to the belief called Asian culture. The belief stated that Asia and its people are the center of the world and were greater than all other nations of the world. Kind of proud, boastful, but yes, it's true. Now that we've talked about Asia, let's move on to the next. Let's talk about its borders. Asian borders are basically the borders that help separate Asia from the rest of the continents of the world. Well, you can find them here, for example. Ural Mountains and the Ural River are at the endpoint of Asia to the west. That's near Europe. You can even see an example of it to your right. And the others include the Arctic Ocean, which is the end of Asia to the north, Bering Strait, which is the endpoint of Asia to North America, the Bay of Bengal, which is the endpoint of Asia to the south, and the Sea of Japan and the Pacific Ocean itself as endpoints of Asia to the east. Pretty interesting if you ask me. Next are the regions of Asia. First up is North Asia, also known as Middle Asia. It covers at least 4.003,451 kilometers squared land of area of North Asia. Countries included in this region are Armenia, Azerbaijan. Sorry, these names are hard to pronounce. Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. Yeah, those are kind of a mouthful. Cool. Pathway of people, ideas, and products between Europe. This place is a pathway of people, ideas, and products between Europe, West Asia, South Asia, East Asia, etc. Now that we talked about the North, let's talk about the South. With at least 5.1 million kilometers square land area, it includes the countries of India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. This is the most populous region in the world by at least 1.71 billion? Yowzer, that's a lot. It's also known home to the Hinduism belief, which is the belief of many different gods, which originated in India. Next up is West Asia, which covers at least 6,255.160 kilometers square of land area, and it's home to countries such as Afghanistan. Oh wait, popped up again. And Iran, Iraq, Israel, Kuwait, Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Pakistan, Oman, Yemen, and Bahrain, and Cyprus. Now, this region is known for its abundance of oil and being the main location of the Bible, as it includes Israel, Jordan, for example. It's also home to Burj Khalifa, which happens to be the largest building in the world. Whoa, that's a lot. Okay, wait. There's still two more. Next up is East Asia, which covers 12,000 kilometers squared of land area and includes countries such as China, Hong Kong, Myanmar, Macau, Japan, North Korea, South Korea, Mongolia, and Taiwan. This is home to the most populous country in the world, China. As well as many technological advancements. Looking at you, Japan, looking at you. And then finally, we have Southeast Asia, where my hometown of the Philippines is. It's at least 4,500 square of land area, and it's divided into at least two sub-regions. And there's mainland Southeast Asia, which has Vietnam, Myanmar, Peninsular, Malaysia, Laos, Cambodia, and Thailand. And then insular Southeast Asia, which includes Indonesia, East Timor, wait, also Malaysia, Brunei, Singapore, and my hometown, the Philippines. This region is rich in culture and language. Lots of it. Lots of it. And now finally, after dealing with all that, let's go on to its topography, starting with the landforms. It's peninsula. These areas are kind of very, very large areas. It can be found in India, Indochina, Malaysia, Korea, Arabian Peninsula, which happens to be the largest of those peninsulas in the world. There's an archipelago, which is a group of islands such as Japan, my hometown, the Philippines, and Indonesia, which is the largest. Plateau. Think of like a giant land. Think of a giant building that towers over you, except make that a giant landmass. Basically, that's what a plateau is. You can find some in Tibet, the plateau of Iran, Bukidnon, and Lanao. Oh, and Lanao here in the Philippines, a mountain. It's a giant piece of land that's been pushed upwards by tectonic plates coming together. They include things like the Himalayas, Mount Everest in Nepal, Cordillera Mountains here in Philippines, Sierra Madre as well. Oh, and also includes peninsulas too. India, Indochina, Malaysia, Korea, Arabian Peninsula, which also happens to be the largest peninsula in the world. Next up is a volcano, which is basically a mountain that has the ability to spew out lava when tectonic plates meet. They include Mount Mayon here in the Philippines, Mount Fuji in Japan, Mount Krakatoa in Indonesia, and Mount Taal, which happens to also be in the Philippines and is the smallest volcano in the world. Next up is a desert, which is basically a giant landmass of dryness and heat. Oh, and sand too. Places like Karakum in Turkmenia, Gobi Desert in Mongolia, Negev in Israel, and Takla Makan in China are examples of these very, very desolate places. Sorry, I landed on mic there. Next up are water forms. Ocean, which covers the whole planet, which almost covers most of the planet. It includes the Arctic Ocean, the Indian and the Pacific Ocean. A sea, which is a large area body of water within a certain place, like that's in your country. Like for example, the South China Sea, the West Philippine Sea, Bering Sea, Sea of Japan, and the Celebes Sea. A river, which is a body of water that flows into the ocean or sea. Like the one in Jiangxiang, which happens to be the longest in China. A lake, which happens to be an area of water surrounded by land, and like Baikal, which is the deepest, and the Caspian Sea, which is the largest. A gulf is sort of like this giant curve of water near a sort of place of land. Areas like the Persian Gulf and the Lingayen Gulf are examples of these. Yes, a bay. A bay is sort of like an area where people of trade usually meet. Places like the Bay of Bengal and the Manila Bay are examples of these. And finally we have straits, which happen to be in Malacca and the Bering Strait. Finally, we have climates. The climates you can find in Asia include tropical humid, which is a tropical vibe that gives you either very rainy days or very sunny days. And as mentioned before, it's also humid. Places like Thailand, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, India, Indonesia, and of course the Philippines have these. Dry climates are obvious. They're known for being very hot and have lots of deserts like Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. And climate C is humid and mild winter, which is similar to A, but instead of having to deal with sunny days and rainy days, it's just your regular humidity followed by the actual chance of winter, which we in the Philippines unfortunately don't have. It's also a little less mild too than in the States. Countries like Japan, Korea, China, and Lebanon are examples of these locations. And then for the last three, we have humid locations with severe winter, which are way strong versions of those climates of winter, like China and East Siberia. Polar climates, which are cold all year round, like in Russia. And then we have mountain climates, which can be found in Tibet, Borneo, in Sumatra, and the Cordillera Mountains in the Philippines. And with that, we've talked all about Asia and its geography. I hope you enjoyed that presentation. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!